I'm 93 years old. I have $11 million sitting in various accounts. I own properties in 3 states. My investment portfolio would make most financial advisors weep with joy. And I would trade every single cent of it, every stock, every asset, every zero in that bank account, for one more Sunday morning with my daughter when she was 7 years old. My name is Robert, and I need to tell you something that took me 70 years to understand. You are being sold a lie, the biggest lie in modern civilization, and I bought it completely. I lived it. I won at it, and winning destroyed everything that actually mattered. You think I'm exaggerating. You think this is some sentimental old man rambling about the good old days. I promise you, this is the opposite. This is me trying to save you from making the same calculated mistake I made. The mistake that looked like success for decades until the day I woke up and realized I had built a fortune on top of a graveyard. Let me take you back to March 14th, 2019. I was 87 years old. I had just closed another successful real estate deal. 7 figures. Clean profit. I was on top of the world. I'm sitting in my study, this massive oak-paneled room, floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, original artwork on the walls, and my phone rings. It's my daughter, Caroline. We hadn't spoken in 4 months, maybe 5. We had this pattern. She'd call on my birthday. I'd call on hers. Christmas, Thanksgiving if schedules aligned. She says, "Dad, I'm getting married." I say, "That's wonderful, sweetheart. When's the wedding?" She says, "It was yesterday." The room started spinning. Not from a stroke. Not from a heart attack. From the sudden, crushing realization that my own daughter, my only child, had gotten married and didn't even think to invite me. Not because she forgot. Not because of some logistical issue. Because we were strangers. She was polite about it. She said, "I just thought you'd be busy. You're always busy. And honestly, I didn't think you'd come anyway. You've missed everything else." I opened my mouth to argue, to defend myself, to list all the reasons I had to work those 80-hour weeks, all the sacrifices I made to provide for her, to give her the life I never had. But here's the thing about being 93 years old. You stop lying to yourself because there's no time left for lies. She was right. I had missed everything else. Her 6th grade play where she was the lead. Her high school graduation. I showed up 30 minutes late and left early for a conference call. Her college acceptance. Her first heartbreak. Her first apartment. Her promotions. Her struggles. Her victories. I missed her life. And I didn't miss it because I was poor and desperate. I missed it because I was chasing numbers that I thought would make me worthy. Numbers that I thought would make me safe. Numbers that I thought would prove to everyone, including myself, that I mattered. Here's what nobody tells you about success. It's a drug. And like any drug, you build up a tolerance. I grew up with nothing. My father was a factory worker. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment with 6 people. I wore hand-me-down clothes that didn't fit. I watched my mother cry over bills at the kitchen table. So I made a promise to myself. I would never be poor again. I would never feel that helplessness. I would build something that couldn't be taken away. And I did. I started with nothing. I worked construction jobs during the day and took business classes at night. I saved every penny. I bought my first rental property at 24. Then another. Then another. I expanded into commercial real estate. I diversified. I invested. I multiplied. And somewhere in there, the mission changed. It stopped being about security and became about scorekeeping. It stopped being about providing for my family and became about proving something to people whose names I can't even remember now. I told myself I was doing it for Caroline, for my wife, Margaret. I was building a legacy. I was creating opportunities. I was being a provider. But here's the truth I couldn't see then. They didn't need a provider. They needed a person. Margaret needed a husband who came home for dinner, who asked about her day and actually listened, who noticed when she changed her hair, who held her hand during movies, who was present. Caroline needed a father who showed up to her soccer games, not the last 5 minutes, but the whole thing, who helped with homework, who taught her to drive. Who was there when she was scared or confused, or just needed to know that someone thought she was the most important person in the world. But I was busy. I was always busy. I was building an empire, and empires are cold, empty places. I can tell you exactly how much I made in 1992. $243,000. That was a big year for me. You know what I can't tell you? What Caroline's favorite subject was in school that year. She was 12. It was probably the most formative year of her life, and I have no memory of it. None. I remember board meetings. I remember negotiations. I remember closing deals. I remember checking my bank balance and feeling that little hit of dopamine. I don't remember my daughter. Here's another one. Every summer, Margaret would ask if we could take a family vacation. Just 2 weeks. Somewhere simple. The beach. The mountains. It didn't matter where. And every summer, I'd say, "Next year, honey. This year is too critical. Next year will be better." I said that for 23 consecutive years. You know what happened next year? Margaret got sick. Breast cancer. Stage 3. We caught it late because she'd been putting off her mammogram. She didn't want to burden me when I was so stressed with work. She fought for 2 years. I finally took time off. I finally showed up. I finally sat with her and held her hand and was present. And you know what she said to me 3 days before she died? She squeezed my hand and said, "I'm so glad you're here. It's been so long since you've been here." I had been living in the same house as this woman for 41 years, and she felt like I hadn't been there, because I hadn't. My body was there, but I was always somewhere else, thinking about the next deal, worrying about market trends, checking my phone, planning, strategizing, optimizing. I optimized myself right out of my own life. After Margaret died, I threw myself even harder into work, because that's what you do when you don't know how to process grief, right? You stay busy, you distract yourself, you climb higher, because maybe at the top of this mountain, you'll finally feel something other than empty. I made more money in the 5 years after she died than I had in the previous 30. I was on fire. Everyone said so. Robert's really crushing it. Robert's a machine. They were right. I was a machine. Machines don't feel. Machines don't connect. Machines just execute their programming. And my programming was broken. So let me tell you what I've learned. What I wish someone had grabbed me by the shoulders and screamed in my face when I was 30. Stop trying to impress people who don't care about you. Half the people you're performing for don't even like you. The other half won't remember your name in 5 years. You are killing yourself for an audience that isn't even watching. Your children are watching, though. They're watching you choose email over eye contact. They're watching you pick conference calls over soccer games. They're watching you teach them that work matters more than people, that achievement matters more than presence, that money matters more than memory. And they're learning. They're learning that love is conditional, that attention has to be earned, that they're not quite important enough to pull you away from whatever critical thing you're doing. Here's what's critical. This moment, right now, the person in front of you, the conversation you're having, the hand you could be holding, the laugh you could be sharing, the memory you could be making. That deal you're obsessing over, it won't matter in 10 years. That promotion you're grinding for, someone else will have your job 30 seconds after you leave. That money you're accumulating, you can't take it with you. And when you're lying in a hospital bed, At 93 years old, you won't wish you'd worked more. You'll wish you'd lived more. I have $11 million. You know what I can't buy? A conversation with my wife. A day with my daughter when she still wanted to spend time with me. The chance to be the father and husband I should have been. I would write a check right now for all of it, every single dollar, to have one more Sunday morning. Margaret making pancakes, Caroline sitting at the kitchen table doing her homework, me actually being there. Not physically there while mentally somewhere else, actually there. But that's not how it works. Time doesn't care about your money. Relationships don't care about your title. Love doesn't care about your portfolio. The people you love will die, or they'll stop calling, or they'll get married without inviting you because somewhere along the way, you taught them that you weren't really available anyway. And you'll be left sitting in an empty house full of expensive things that mean absolutely nothing. I live differently now. I have for the last few years, because I finally understood something. I'm not going to run out of money, but I am going to run out of time. I'll call Caroline every Sunday. Sometimes she's busy. Sometimes it's just 5 minutes. But I show up. I'm present. I ask questions. I listen. Really listen. Not while checking my phone or thinking about something else. I listen like she's the only person in the world. We're rebuilding. Slowly. She has a 2-year-old son now, my grandson. His name is Michael, after Margaret's father. I see him once a month. I drive 4 hours each way. I sit on the floor and play with blocks. I read him stories. I'm teaching him to count. These are simple things. These are the things I was too busy for when Caroline was his age. And you know what? These Sunday afternoons with Michael, these ordinary, unremarkable hours, these are the wealthiest moments of my life. Not closing $1 million deal, not seeing my portfolio hit 7 figures, not buying another property, sitting on a floor with my grandson, being meted, being present, being loved, not for what I've accomplished, but simply for being there. That's wealth. So let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about it, not the answer you think you should give, the true answer. If you died tomorrow, would the people you love feel like they knew you? Would they feel like you were there? Would they have enough memories to last them the rest of their lives? Or would they feel cheated? Would they wish they'd gotten more of you? Would you be satisfied with the life you actually lived? Not the life you are planning to live someday. Not the life you'll live after this next promotion or this next goal. The life you're living right now, today. Are you present, or are you just here? I'm 93 years old. I don't know how much time I have left. Could be a year, could be a week. But I know this, when that moment comes, I won't be thinking about money. I'll be thinking about the people I loved, the moments we shared, the times I showed up, and the times I didn't. Don't make my mistake. Don't climb the wrong ladder. Don't trade the irreplaceable for the impressive. Because I promise you, the impressive fades. The irreplaceable, you only get one chance at it. Choose wisely. If this story resonated with you, if you felt something, please leave a comment below. Tell me, what's the one thing you keep putting off for someday? What would you regret not doing? Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's on that same treadmill I was on. Someone who still has time to change course. Hit that subscribe button if you want more hard truths from people who've lived long enough to learn them. And most importantly, close this video and go call someone you love. Right now, before it's too late. Time doesn't wait. Don't either.